Downloading Light live event. Online channeling for a live audience. Lucy Mariani. Welcome to Downloading Light live event for June 2023. Got a lovely audience of some wonderful souls as usual. Thank you for joining me this evening. I would like to ask Stephen, I'm going to put you in the hot seat for your first event, what your question is, and we shall channel some guidance for you.
My health look like or maybe, but that was sort of a question I was listening to your reading previous. We touched on a lot of other different subjects. That's my question tonight.
The first thing there, the guidance around this is around you lightening up around your health. Because when I was first sort of checking in, it felt as if there is a seriousness and almost somewhat of a heaviness around some of your health. And whether that's, shall we say, for a particular reason that you sometimes go into that, I'll call it maybe that mental space or that perspective, the way that the universe is showing me or source is showing me is that have more fun, be more light, and allow yourself to enjoy your health. There are many things that you have taken care of to preserve or maintain good health. And sometimes the way that we can use this is to remind ourselves, I have done all of these things. And so it can fuel the thoughts and the perspectives of, I'm in good condition, I'm looking after myself, and I intend to have good health, and I want to have good health, and so be it. And sometimes what can happen is we can do the opposite. We can come from this space of feeling I must do all of these things to ensure that I have good health. And ironically, it's almost can be then coming from a space of lack. And I'll call it a lack almost of faith in feeling that if I don't do all these things right, I won't have good health, rather than remembering that the universe is benevolent, source is benevolent. I see it daily in my work, and tap back into that energy of, we want you to have good health. Yes, you are showing us you want to have good health, and you're demonstrating that in lots of choices that you make. And I want to say in being fit, in looking after your heart, in considering what you eat and drink and consume. What I'm shown is have all of the awareness and ingredients to this. And it feels as if you will keep running on into the future, into good health, Stephen, like jogging along this path of here I am now, and here I am in 5 years, and here I am in 10, and here I am in 15, and just making your way solidly through this nice sense of health. Sometimes like if you're out and you're exercising or you're somewhere and you see that person I always say the older person because they're older than I am, even though I think I'm the older person half the time at the gym or things like that now. But you see that person who's even older than you, and maybe their hair, in my case, is lighter grey or whatever, and you see how fit they are, and they run a jog past, or they're doing their weights, or they're doing whatever, and think, wow, look at that person. They're older and they're fit. That's great. And it's very encouraging to see you are going to be that person. It very much feels for you, keep enjoying life as well is a very big part of it for you. While you might look after yourself in the ways that you're doing, keep up the levels of joy, because that's also part of it. It's clearing out what you don't need. In your case, clearing out, I'm going to call it, I don't want to call it baggage, clearing out the energy of others, sometimes the heavier or denser energies of others, so that it's almost like your energetic field stays clear and balanced. That's more of a trick for you to keep that density away, because you don't need to hold on to it or keep it in any way. But the other part I would quickly add is that I do get a sense that you will live to a very long, ripe age. There may be some others around you who don't, but again, you can take that with grace. You can take that in a manner where you continue to remember that there is something incredible where we do go to, that those people will be at peace.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I jog a lot, so running and jogging.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, basically.
No worries. Thank you.
My pleasure. Lirae, how are you?
Excellent. I'm well, thank you. Been some unsettling energy in the place I work, and I'm wondering what's going to happen. Is there something Source or maybe guides have to say for me? What's my journey in there, or is there advice they've got, or something, anything along those lines?
I love the intuitiveness when you said guidance for, you in there, because the first thing I was shown is that some of this is a smashed in cake. That's sort of, so it's almost like a cake that's collapsing. And the universe is a bit like, you don't need to dip your finger in that cake. You don't need to try and, which you might normally want to do is, oh, I'll fix this cake up.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. You don't need to do that either.
On, obviously,
Yeah. Well, that's you being spot on with your intuition. And in that sense, it's a different experience for you too, Lirae. I'm not saying you haven't already experienced probably some things like this before, but it is being able to go in and recollect that I come here and this is what I'm paid to do, and this is what I do, and I do it with a smile, and I am committed in the ways that I deliver on this. And this other part is yours, as in the people that it's involving. It's not mine. And so I choose to step out, and I choose not to be involved, and I choose not to discuss it with others or get involved when others want to talk or debrief or any of those things. You're being given an opportunity to step aside from the storylines, the drama, dare I say, and keep going about your own merry way. And when you do that, what's really lovely for you, and I have, I obviously do know you, and you've been in meditation groups and other things, you that lovely sensitive part of you doesn't need to be drawn in and affected. You get to be happy and still go to work unaffected. And I do get a sense that that's the learning curve for you in this. It's almost like every morning walking in and having to walk around it. It's there, but you're like, but I don't have to do that. I don't have to deal with all of that. It's not
my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah, not my monkeys.
Not my circus.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very much that, Lirae. It's not. And what's good about it too is it shows you, even broadly in life, how many times you may be around stories again, events, happenings, drama, etc., even in personal life, that you can start to choose to, I walk around this. It's not about you not being there for your friends or things like that. You're a good friend, you would be. But it is around you being really aware of, that's just another smashed in cake, because that's what they show me at the moment. It's like a big creamy cake that's all smashed in. That's just another smashed in cake. I don't even know if I want to even lick the sides and have a taste. I'm a bit like, no, I'm a bit done with that, And in this instance, it may not really resolve. It's almost in the workplace that you're in, there is an ongoing saga of some kind. So in that sense, can't honestly say to you that I think it's just all going to become peaceful and all rainbows and unicorns in the next few weeks or anything. But again, it's around you just understanding, well, if that's how there's some people operate here and they thrive on the saga, then I'm choosing to not thrive and not be drained by it, because it feels at the moment it's important for you to get in there, do what you do, still enjoy it, but then leave at the end of the day, close the door on shop basically, and then rest. And dare I say, even on some of your spare time still, I do see you still doing some creating. I do still see you having some energy, and even we can call it mental space, to even just be thinking up ideas. Even if you're not putting them all into practice, you may be drawing designs and doing things. So again, this is around your energy is sacred, it's precious. And the more that you can serve and don't have drained from you, the more that you can then use to positive effect after work. Now, I don't know if you've frozen or if I have. No, just Leroy, because all the rest of you are moving. I will finish there, Leroy. Derek, are you happy to go next?
Yeah, sure thing, Sin. Just following on to that, so my question is also work related or career focused. So my question is, well, I feel like I'm in a kind of rut with my current work at the moment. So I don't know if you've got any kind of channeling or, messages from the spirits in regards to, whether there could be a possible change in direction of career or anything like that.
The first thing I'm shown, it's as if the way you've moved, you can only go so far, and it's coming along to a halt. It's almost like I've moved here, I've done this, and there is a barrier or something, and even whether it's not a physical barrier or even a barrier in terms of not being able to be, promoted further in that sense that maybe you could be, what it does feel very much like is that for you personally, you've come as far as you were destined or meant to in that way. And the hard part about this, in a sense, or the challenge you could say for you, Derek, in this is the where to now. And before you even get to the where to now, you are being invited to start daydreaming. And the daydreaming has to be a little bit broader than what you know, because I will be real with you, it feels as if you were to do something similar, or for instance, change companies, firms, etc., and do something somewhat similar over there, you're still going to feel that same stuckness, not feeling inspired, not feeling, motivated. Might be, okay, I'm making money, but it's really so for me. So in this sense, the universe really does want you to start to step outside the box of your own thoughts around this, around your own perceptions, and really set yourself free in being able to explore what else would I like to do. And some of this, I'm going to say to you, goes way, way, way back when you were little. For most of that can be the case on some level. But in your case, very much so. Go back to when you were little, because there were certain things that you felt you wanted to do. And they might have seemed like things that a child would say, or others might have thought were innocent. Yet there has been a natural inclination and some talents and interests and things that you've had. And yet I get a sense that you've gone another path, that you've done well at school. You've probably been quite academic, maybe been encouraged, nurtured in a particular direction. And so it's led you to this path. And yet all the way along, it's like a return back to, wait a minute, who am I really? What do I really want to do? What are the sorts of things that satisfy me? Part of that for you does feel like being part of something that makes a difference. There is something around community, or having a community, being a part of that, and being a part of impacting positively on others around you. So that may help you. It doesn't mean you may not necessarily take certain skills that you've had, though, previous career with you, but I do get a sense that you might find yourself stretched again in around, what else could I do? I'll give you an example. Say you were working in finance or something more corporate. You could find yourself, working for something that's more progressive, but you're not only just finance. They may want you to be taking care of some of the business development. So you would be being stretched. Could be a not-for-profit, could be something else. You might find yourself feeling stretched, but it's a good stretch. It's like, but I can do this, and I can be creative, and I can think out of the box, but I'm also good with numbers, so I can put that together with the ideas and make something work. But it's time for change. It's why you're feeling it. When we feel stuck, or sometimes we feel unmotivated or whatever, or even uncomfortable, it's usually because the universe is giving us a little bit of a squeeze to go, come on, get out there, time to do something new.
Yeah, I think that's part of my problem is I'm a bit scared to go out of my comfort zone and try something new. And you're right about, if I was to change a different company and do something similar to what I'm doing now, like it would be initially like something different, but then after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the same kind of things that I was doing previously, and I'm not really growing or just making, like you said, some kind of impact or feel like I'm contributing in some way, like to the kind of greater society. Or
Yeah, you've got a lot to give, and you've got some really good ideas. And in all honesty, I think for anyone or most people, because there's occasional people who just thrive and run at anything new and go, yeah, I've got this. But for most of us, stepping outside of something that we've known to step into something that is unknown does require a level of courage. But the thing I'd probably say to you that may help you a little more is to go with the feeling of the excitement around being able to do something new. Let that excitement tap into that, feel into that more, rather than to the fear or any of the other sort of concerns that may come up. You don't need to leave where you are. You may just even have a look around and apply and see what you can do, see what you can get. Have some interviews, get a feel for other things that are out there. And in your sense too, not just being interviewed, you interviewing, feeling like, okay, is this right for me? Is this something that I would enjoy? But there is a lot more that you can give of yourself. And I don't feel that you get to do that at the moment.
No.
And that self-expression and being able to be more passionate and more helping steer a big ship is a really good thing for you to get involved in. Very rewarding.
Thanks for that. Your wife's words of wisdom, Sin.
Yeah, it's exciting. You have to keep us posted. Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Derek. Cheers. Jody.
Sin, apologies, you might hear a crying baby in the background. Look, I guess my question is relatively broad. Today I've just been feeling like vibrating on a bit of a, sorry, on a higher frequency, just like lots of energy, which is a bit out of the ordinary for the last few weeks. And I just wanted to see if you had any sort of insight or any guidance, because I just want to tap into that and ride that wave.
Yeah, okay. The main thing is you're already on the wave. And again, we've got to be really aware. We don't notice that we can sometimes be inadvertently coming from a space of lack, thinking, oh, I'm on the wave and all this is energy is here and I better use it now in case it stops or whatever, rather than allowing yourself to stay present to the wave that you're on. Use that energy in ways that can really catapult you and, not just your business, but other areas of your life in, supporting it to move forward. That energy it's a gift. It is a gift. There is a lot for you to be excited for and about. That's what I am shown. And sometimes obviously when we start to feel excited, the egoic mind wants to find tangible evidence. Well, why am I so excited? I must find a reason. I must know. No. Brain always wants to know, or mind always wants to know. And yet sometimes we literally tap into the stream of flow, without knowing that things are unfolding and are coming through and working out for us. It's that sense of what we've been desiring, in a way, maybe manifesting or attracting to us or working towards or thinking about, dreaming about, feeling good about is actually here. And that's what this feels like, Jody, around you. You're in flow. You're aware that other things are coming, and they are, and through the business, but through other ways as well in your life. It's all just unfolding for you. And when we are in that space of taking the hands off the wheel, knowing it's unfolding even before it's here, which is that faith that we sometimes need before things, actually arrive, it's such a precious state to be in. All you need to do is enjoy it.
Yeah, I will.
In enjoying it, you're going to allow more of it. So it's even more reason to enjoy it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. It's wonderful. And it's such a lovely feeling when you're in flow. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but sometimes I find myself, I've never had it months and months on end being in flow, but I certainly have times where there's at least a bunch of weeks, of being in flow. And it's literally like, even when I'm driving the car, I'm getting all the green lights, or I'm ahead of the traffic, even on school traffic. Flow can be so marvelous. It can be so, it's every little thing just falls into place. It's definitely worth savoring. But again, you don't have to savor it, because the universe will always tell you there's heaps more of that, Jodie. Heaps more of it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the answer. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bree, how are you going?
I'm going. One's still awake, but
That's okay. We're allowed to have pets and kids and whatever. I don't know. I allow all those other little souls to, their presence is magical. So it's all good.
we do have one here. He's sleeping.
Oh, cute.
I wanted to find out more tonight about my spirit guide potentially, and just how I can kind of tap into that, or if I have one at all.
Sorry, because I don't know if my connection's paused, and I'm sorry if it is. I have so many internet issues here at times. But if you wanted to tap into your spirit guide, is that what I said? That's what you said?
Or yeah, exactly. Or just find out more a bit about who that was, if I have one.
If you have one. We normally have more than one spirit guide. Whenever I see for people, there's usually a little team,
Okay.
Yeah. So let's have a look. Let's see. I like this question. Let's check it out. For you, this might not sound appropriate, and maybe it does. I don't know you that well, but there is a female spirit guide who's quite stern, who's almost like a matron or somebody like that sort of vibe. Now, I have to say this, preface this, when I've read for people over the years and seen spirit guides, often they look like they're sometimes from different eras or different cultures and different jobs and roles, and not even necessarily a full reflection of the role we might be doing in this lifetime. As in, if you had a professor, doesn't mean that you're working in science, but doesn't mean that professor, there's not some sort of technical skill that you're somehow being, how could you say, in a weird way, accessing. Okay. So the first one I'm shown is this woman or female sort of spirit guide. She means business. She's a sort of person that would not suffer fools, and is very bang 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 with everything. But she's good because she does help propel you forward in ways. I almost feel like it's as if she would pop behind you and give you a little shove sometimes when you need to step a little bit more into the limelight or step forward into things. She's the one that will give you that sort of a gentle shove. Come on, let's do it. But she's also, in a sense, you could say behind the scenes, she makes things happen. I've often noticed this too with spirit guides. They can't interfere with our lives and take over. They can't. You're a sovereign soul. But what they do seem to do, my interpretation anyway, or understanding of it, feels that they do, though, sometimes work still with energy or other things. Like sometimes I see people when they're busy on a project or a creative project or whatever they're doing, their spirit guides are busy at work. It's almost like everybody's got their heads down to what they do. And so it is this thing of like they work behind the scenes in ways for us. Let's have a look at who else you've got, though, because there's more than her. All right, you have a very I almost feel a little bit intimidated here. You have a very very deep soul. You have an Aboriginal guide, spirit male, who looks far off into the distance, like far, far off into the distance. So it's not someone that maybe is paying attention so much to small details here and now. It's like having a guide that's definitely thinking outside the box and always seeing, in a sense, what's on the horizon. Interestingly, some of your guides, I don't feel they work as close together, yet it doesn't matter that they're not. It's almost like he's over here doing his thing and that matron type in the foreground doing her thing without necessarily collaborating. But it's not a bad thing. It's not good, not bad. It's just what is. But I don't know if you feel this sometimes, he will be one I'm showing that will whisper guidance in your ear. And it feels it's your left ear. I feel that he would whisper guidance sometimes in your ear. It's almost like the one that would tell you to do this or choose that. And so sometimes we have obviously our intuition, which is our inner knowingness. But I often find the intuition, I mostly connect to source myself, but connects with source, but it can connect to the guides as well. The guides can support us through the intuition. But I do, as I said, get the sense that he's in that left ear, but not pushy or bossy, but just calm and wise. And you'd probably almost feel like that after hearing any of his, guidance. You'd probably feel calm and wise after making decisions based from his insights, so to speak. Yeah. Let's see, because I feel like you've got 4. Just bear with me. There is. Sorry, before I talk about the others, you do have a grandparent above you. Sorry, just bear with me for a minute. I say grandparent. I don't think it's great grandparent. It feels like a grandparent. I do feel that she's female, but I was finding it a bit hard to understand the gender, so to speak. I feel that there's a male that's also nearby from the family, but either partner or somebody, but of similar sort of age, but there's a closeness there. So it was a bit hard to understand who's there. There's definitely what you can call ancestor from this lifetime above you as well. Very nurturing, very caring, but also strong. Don't mess with me. You've got a lot of strong female, type energy around you as well. There's a lovely softness there, and they're nurturing, but they're also like you can't cross the line with them though. They have very strong boundaries. So yeah,
I think that is.
This makes sense. Relate. Yeah, it's not a bad way to be. There's definitely someone that's a little bit more another male that it's almost like, this is quite bizarre, but somebody who's almost like a boilermaker or a welder or somebody that's very, very hands-on in what they do. They understand tactile. I understand creating things. You can say movement in a way. I'm showing that, which I'm not totally sure why, but also they understand the tactileness of things and creating things in form from this, getting it into form, which is a good thing for you to have too. You have ideas, but it's getting it into, putting it into the reality as well. That guide is very helpful for you, but a very quiet guide as well. Almost more in the background, as is that other one. I feel like there's almost the matron's very much at the front, and while the Aboriginal one felt very strong presence, the others are sort of just a bit quieter in the background. And I don't know what this is, but there's a chimpanzee energy around too. They show me a chimp jumping around. I don't know what that is or why that is, if that's a past life thing or something, but there's some monkey energy around, huh?
Maybe it's one of my kids still awake.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm feeling, monkey energy. But let's have a look at the other one. Wow, the other one, I didn't even know what these people would do. I felt like they were somehow somewhat of an educator in a way, or they feel that they're a learned person. There's an old word for you. But it felt like a tutor. Does anybody know what a tutor is? Tudor. I know the word, but I don't recall what it means. But that's what they show me as. They're old. They're from another era. There's a level of importance with that person, that spirit guide, even though they're in a way quieter and not so much in the forefront of your field. They do seem to expect a fair amount of respect for what they know. And there is a nice knowledge there, a big body of knowledge. So you're connecting to that as well. I mean, everybody does. We can all connect to the Akash, our own Akashic records and consciousness itself. But it does feel like this guide is there for almost drawing on new knowledge when you need it, because this person is somebody who likes to collect knowledge, so is happy to share insights with you, particularly knowledgeable type insights, not so much spiritual, but knowledgeable type insights. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. And I will say this too. I think it's important to notice this. I've sometimes seen in readings for clients, a couple of times anyway, where one spirit guide is on their way out and another one is coming. So, you know, some think that we just arrive here with just a fixed set of guides. But I've noticed in my work that there are different, sometimes they are here sometimes in a sense for a reason or a purpose or a period of time, and they may move out and they may be replaced by someone else that needs to come in or not. So it's not one of those things where, you know, it's a bit like auras. People always say, well, what color's my aura? And I say, well, I don't read your aura, but it doesn't mean what it is today is going to be tomorrow. Auras change. Spirit guides change. Humans like to think everything is fixed, but it's not. And even sometimes when we have an ancestor from this lifetime around us, sometimes they may be there for a number of years. Some might stay around for our whole lives. Some might just stay around for a period of time where they think we need support, or there's big change coming or going on, or things like that. It's important to know that all of these things can be fluid.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for asking. It was an interesting question. Thank you. Thank you for joining me this evening, and thank you for all of your questions. I feel like they were very interesting. All right, everyone, have a fabulous month. I look forward to connecting with you soon. And yeah, thanks again for attending and asking questions. I enjoyed that. It was lovely. Okay, see you all.